Hello there people, Anton of Spare Room here, welcome to my channel. So this will be my second review as judge for the Indie Ink Awards 2023. As usual, because this isn't the genre I usually read, this might influence my opinions. Still, I'll try to be as objective and as unbiased as possible and keep spoilers to a minimum. The book I'll be reviewing today is Imperfect Magic by Rowan, which is an urban fantasy story set mostly in France. The protagonist is an 800-year-old man who gets reincarnated into a new dead body each time the old body dies. This means that about half the story is set in medieval France 800 years ago, and the other half of the story is set in present day. Now, this book took me completely by surprise. I think the author has some amazing creativity, and all the jokes and pop culture references and all the metaphors, they were all very, very spot on. And that also meant that this is one of the funniest books I've read in quite a while, definitely this year. And something that really helped that was the narrator. So I listened to this book in audiobook format, and the narrator really came across as if he was kind of insane and a bit mad, and that really fit the main character because, well, I mean, what do you expect from a man who has kept on dying and being reborn for the past 800 years? Now, the double timeline wasn't the most original element of the story, but I did think it was very well executed. Basically, the story switches from present day to 800 years ago every few chapters, and this really helps to illustrate what's happening nowadays or in the modern day by linking it to what happened 800 years ago. And especially towards the end of the story, this really comes well together. And this really made me think of the superhero TV show Arrow, which also takes place partly during modern day and partly 5 years ago on an island. And because I'd seen it before, I did recognize it, and I really liked that the way the story jumped from present to past. As for what I didn't really enjoy about the book, I think it had too many words. So let me explain. Basically, I really like the jokes, but if every sentence is twice as long as it really needs to be, that really slows down the pacing. And after a while, I actually got kind of bored of the story because it just went too slowly. And you know, I really liked the jokes and the references, but eventually there's too much of a good thing. And I feel like if Imperfect Magic had been half as long, it would have been just as interesting, if not more interesting, than it was. This naturally brings me to the characters. So while there were differences between the characters, I did feel like I could see the author's voice coming through them, in all of them. And that made all the characters kind of similar. Even if they were completely different people, I could still hear the same voice through them. Now, maybe this effect was strengthened by the narrator because everything is narrated by the same voice, but I don't think it was the narrator's fault, basically, that the characters started sounding a bit like each other. And especially because most of the story was too wordy for me, and the characters speak in very long monologues, especially towards the end. Some of the scenes became way too long because the characters talked too much while not actually saying a lot, and this really harmed my enjoyment of the story. My rating for this book would probably be about 2, maybe 2.5 stars. There was quite a bit I enjoyed, and of course I really liked the humor, but it was just too wordy for me. Now, there were a lot of other people who did enjoy the book, so if this sounds like the book for you, go ahead and buy it to support Rowan, but unfortunately it didn't quite click for me. Thanks for watching.